All right, everybody would like, okay, we'd like to let everyone know that this meeting is being recorded and anything that is said tonight can be for at a later date. All right, Shimon, it's all you.
Thank you for coming this evening on this warmer weather. The two items on agenda. The first one is about the update on the parcel A located on Surf Avenue West 22nd Street. Support letter needed for 384 B4. Disposal of property from the city. That's the first item on the agenda. Then we got second item, so we'll get to it. So
I'm going to share this
Yeah.
with you right now, and you can take this. Hold on. Oh, sorry, guys. I know. I just want to move this over from it. There we go. All right, it's all yours.
Thanks, Eddie. All right, thanks everyone. We're back again. As everyone knows me, I'm Greg Vangert, former board member and current Broken Borough Director of Government Affairs at EDC. I'm with my colleague Anthony. Introduce yourself.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Anthony Hashef. I'm on the real estate team at EDC.
So I know we've been with you guys a few times on Coney West Parcel A, but here to get an update and also talk about the next steps in the project, which is a 384 B4, which is just a borough board vote on business terms between the developer, which is Ryback, and the city, which is I don't know. Also, just some correction. Support letter would be welcome, but is optional. So it's not necessary for the borough board, but obviously always welcome support of the community board if you guys choose to do so. So we're gonna work you through a quick deck and then answer any question you may have. So I'll pass it over to Anthony if we go to the next slide.
Yeah, and before I jump in, our colleague Lauren Wolf is also online.
Sorry,
EDC.
sorry, Lauren.
Yeah, she may chime in at some point in time. Yeah, so this first slide, I think everybody here is very familiar with the investment that's taken place in Coney Island since the 2009 rezoning. So the city's invested over $750 million in the area through various investments. The amusement area has gone through major revitalization. There's been an investment in the Cyclones ballpark, as well as with the recently announced $1 billion commitment towards the boardwalk. So Coney is definitely a priority of the city, and hopefully we're seeing that with some investments being made. Within Coney Island West, where Parcel A is located, has been a particular focus as of late with EDC in the city. So 3 of the parcels in this area are owned by the city. So Parcel A, which is currently the Cyclones overflow lot, and then parcels E and F, which are the current Cyclones main lot. It's a parking lot currently, but this is potential future development pads. And then C, which is in between A and E, is privately owned and has been turned into affordable housing. 2 are already built, 1 is under construction, and then there's a 4th one that's potential for the future. And then D is another privately owned lot that's currently used as a parking lot as well. So just to go back, we released this RFP in February, basically about exactly a year ago, with a few goals in mind, one of which was to provide on-site affordable housing. So the affordable housing has to comply with 485X, which is the new tax abatement, as well as UAP, which is Universal Affordability Preference. This is all to say that we're providing 25% affordable housing. And then we wanted to provide as many housing units as possible on the site because, as we all know, the city needs housing. And then there were some parking requirements. So currently the parcel is a 160 space parking lot. There was a requirement, whoever was going to develop this parcel needed to maintain those 160 spaces during construction. So those spaces were never lost. And then those spaces will be rebuilt in the new development and available to the public. And then we wanted to minimize the amount of city capital or public subsidy that was going into this project. So those were the requirements. In October, EDC executed a contract of sale with Ryback Development. They were selected for a lot of reasons, but we wanted to highlight a few. One is experience. They have a lot of experience in development in general, but very, very much particularly in the Coney Island submarket. They've had a lot of success. Yes.
Barbara?
Oh, thank you. No worries. and have, shown a capability to do so. They really met the development program requirements that we outlined: affordable housing, placement parking, and then they needed no city capital or public subsidy to produce this. So that was a big one. And then there'll be 530 odd units of housing. They're still finalizing their designs. They'll provide the parking, and then there'll be 30,000 square feet of retail space and 65,000 square feet of amenity space. And then this is just the 384 before timeline. It really culminates on March 5th with the borough board vote. They'll vote on the business terms that the city's agreed to. And then after this slide, we have our draft slides of what we're going to present at that borough board meeting. For full awareness and clarity, we wanted to show you guys those draft slides as well. They're pretty boring, pretty stock, but we provided those as well. And then, as you can see, we're here on February 3rd presenting to you guys. Yeah, so I'll move through these pretty quickly. They're just really recapping what we just talked about. But agenda for that meeting. Next slide, please. Going into what the parcel is. So just kind of like the very specific legal names of what that parcel is. So it's 2 parcels, one owned by the city, one owned by EDC, and then air rights. But all of this is just parcel A. And the next slide.
Yeah.
This is what the planned development program is. So 500 some units, 30,000 square feet roughly of retail, and then parking spaces. And this is a very early rendering. Designs are still in process, but this is an early rendering of what the building may look like. This is some technical stuff for the borough board, but just that ULURP was complete in 2009. And as a part of the city review process, the environmental review, were the developers doing a technical memorandum, which essentially proves that they're in compliance with what was studied in the original environmental review. That's why it's highlighted. They're still working on that. That'll be complete by the time we go to the borough board in March. And then finally, these are the business terms that we ask the borough board to sign off on. So this is our draft deck for the borough board in March and our briefing on parcel A.
Any questions, comments?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Then you're next.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nothing personal, okay?
Good.
But no, but I know Greg, I mean, before, I don't know Anthony, but I know Gregory for a long time, and nothing but this one.
Same.
But that's the first time, I believe all of us, including myself, we hear the term bill of sale. It was never mentioned. You said that few times you came to us, it was about RFP. I remember my friend Angela asked you once if she can see RFP. We were told no. I believe it was back in April, almost a year ago. So we also had not big, but some Zoom meeting in December, correct? Where we were talking about development, and sale was not mentioned. I understand. I mean, maybe it's me. I misunderstood the line, less of city capital. So I believe it was the reason. Let's say, but it's a city property. Project is in stones. Since I don't like the storm, but I have to use it. Since you say our support letter is optional, it seems to me to be done deal. Okay, unfortunately. So, but I'm still gonna ask a question. It's a city land. I'm not asking for how much he's buying it. We're gonna see somehow soon, the same way we can see now how much partners invested in Coney Island Phase 3. Now it's a public information. One nonprofit pay $1, the other company $5 million, the third company $3 million, whatever. I'm not asking for how much, but we had this meeting. We had this discussion not once, and every time we are asking one question And we keep repeating this question every time we meet with developers. What is for community? We were told about beautiful plaza, we were told about supermarket, but nobody can guarantee supermarket. I mean, it's up to renters and up to landlord developers, it might be something else. I'm just, they're building certain amount of commercial spaces and certain amount of community space. We are a community of Coney Island, and I believe it's very unique community. We have many different organizations, we have many different groups, but with all of this new development, this community does not have a place to meet. We are lucky if we are giving space by the library. We are lucky if we are given space by somebody else, but not even one project. And if, I mean, I understand perfectly what is community space. It's doctor's offices and on and on. Maybe people don't know and they expect the community space to be something for community, not only lawyers and medical offices and on and on. We were told last time in December that the project is done, but it might be some modification. And I believe this community deserves something to get from developer, who also nothing by respect to Ryback. I know him before he became big Ryback, okay? And the only I can say, it's up to committee to vote on a letter. It's up to community board to vote on a letter. But I believe it's time to talk and put something in stone in this project. That certain place, certain space, certain square footage, it can be discussed not today, but eventually would be designated to community, to real community space. That's my, and if this committee is willing to give a letter, I would ask committee to put certain conditions in this letter. Again, I understand your advisory. I understand our letter is not something that can change mind of many, but we are community representatives. You are the one. You were appointed to community board 13, like I and everybody else, to represent this community, and we have to represent the city. Thank you.
Question?
Yeah, no, it was actually very similar to specifically wondering what your investment would be to the communities of Long Island to enhance the preservation and expansion of our people. So that was again like space, but just a general investment of where you are for us.
They're not offering, they're like middleman, city transferred land to one organization is selling to Ryback. I mean, since we got this only today, we have to spend some time reading similar cases and on and on. So I do believe that we have to have a follow-up meeting with developer and talk about it, and we would greatly appreciate yours.
Yeah, I want to speak for Ryback, but I know they're willing to come and have a conversation for sure. They're not hiding from having a
I know they're not.
conversation. So they willing to have, and we're in early stage, I don't know if you want to talk very early stages of what actually is going to be in the building. That's why this is very, very technical. It's essentially just.
I personally, I cannot speak for entire committee or entire community board, but I personally want this, how you call it, investment in community, space-wise, funds-wise, whatever, to be installed. I don't want anybody to come and say, we love you, we're gonna do everything for you, and on and on. Doesn't work anymore. Look at all of those developments, nothing for community, absolutely nothing.
Any more questions, comments? So this one, you want a few options. Give a letter of support, give a letter with maybe add a few conditions. Marceline Davis.
I wasn't at the general meeting that you had, but I did, listen to the videotape. And I had a lot of questions because one of the ladies that lived
About this
there.
project.
This
This
project.
this
About-
was
no.
not discussed in
About this?
the committee.
Oh, yes, sir.
No, that's gonna be next. That's gonna be next.
Sure.
So the committee has a few different options, give a letter of support, let us forward with recommendations, suggestions, ideas. Or what do you what are you deciding?
Well, there's a
Oh, there's anybody on
question.
Zoom or?
Yeah, there's a question. Let's
Oh, question? Oh, yeah.
Carol, let's see. Carol,
Hi, Carol.
this
Yes,
in
good
reference-
evening, family. Good evening. My name is Carol B. and I'm just asking a question about Ocean Towers. I
okay. No.
reside in there right
Yeah.
now.
Okay,
And
this is not,
yeah, the-
Ocean Tower yet. We're dealing with parcel A, first.
Okay,
All
all right, thank
We'll be
you.
dealing that in about 5 minutes,
Yeah,
in
so,
5 minutes.
Any other questions specifically about this project? Parcel A is, I mean, this is parcel A. The other item, Ocean Towers, will be next agenda. Any other, Mayor and Cleve, anybody out there with any kind of questions, comments? If no,
Well, you can,
Oh, yeah.
as Yelena mentioned, you can put in the support letter with, recommendation or,
It's condition.
conditions that, you will meet with the developers, after this for future developments, for future projects on this.
Phrase it more-
So that it doesn't just leave it as a straight yes, okay?
May I add something?
Sure.
Not only we have to
Mm.
vote on the letter, on February 25th, I believe we have to present the letter. Yes, Michael? We cannot vote on something. We can vote today, but we have no letter. But if possible, I would like to meet with developer before February 25th, okay? To be able, so Sam, who is the chair of Land Use Committee, could present what we were able to accomplish or we were trying to accomplish before community board cast its votes.
I mean, sounds pretty fair before the,
If it's possible with,
So you want to do something
Ryback.
similar that we did in
Yeah,
September?
yeah, just a-
They were that call.
Yeah. I think something like that would be nice to update, and then if there's anything that you want to bring up to the, put into the letter, you can bring it to the full board and approve it at that time. So if it's okay with, the chair, to meet with the developers one more time, before the February meeting, the full board meeting, is that acceptable? And we can vote on the letter at that time. The full board can vote at that time. Well,
Yeah,
He-
that could
but
be.
he doesn't have plans
Good
yet.
idea. let the most come.
Yeah.
Sounds fair.
Right.
In
Pretty much-
addition to beautiful plaza.
Good, you can say.
Supermarket.
I think just saying, I think it's sort of early for that. What I think would be better is if you guys come with feedback of what you'd like to see there, because again, we're in the very early stages of that. So anything that's put on their plate, given into them, is something they're gonna consider versus them already having something they're gonna do.
Okay,
Because this is not, even the facade that we showed earlier is not the final design. So that's not even the final design. Forget about even thinking about what's gonna be actually in the building. Right? So that's very, very early.
understandable, but let's say when they responded to RFP and when they spoke to us, I believe it's a certain square footage they have in mind.
Oh, it's on here, it's on the screen,
It's
it's on
not
the
in stone.
32,000 square feet. Yeah.
Community facility.
Mhm.
So we would like to make sure that, let's say, 10% of community facilities built would be designated to community groups. Fair?
Sure,
10%.
that's
That's it. If
Conversation.
they're building
That's-
less, it's still 10%. If they're building more, it's still 10%.
All
All
right,
right,
so between February 11th to February
It
23rd.
will be,
Whatever.
it'll be during, the weekday, it'll be during the weekday and, Zoom, for those,
Workout.
for those land use, members. Gloria, you have a question on this?
Somebody's on the screen.
Yeah, Gloria, welcome.
Okay. What I want to know, it's been a while for me at these meetings. Why are these developers keep putting buildings where buildings are already at? It's
Yeah.
like a sandwich now. We're gonna be closed in down here. So, I don't know everything about this meeting, but what I do know and what I do see is buildings being built in parking lots where it should be used for cars instead of other buildings.
Okay, sure.
Different project, my dear. We're
One
gonna
more,
get
one
that.
more, one more. Excuse me, I'm not finished. It's been a lot of deaths in this community in the last few years. I know when Coney Island was being rebuilt back in 1969 and 1970, 5 to 10 years later, people been dying with the same type of cancer. So is anybody looking into the air quality before more buildings come up in our neighborhood? That's all I have to say
Okay,
for
all
now.
right. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria.
Okay.
All right, so I assume pretty much this topic, we could skip with you guys.
Yeah,
We'll get with
that's
Eddie Mark and
Yeah, let's talk to
And then,
No, it is-
so what we'll do is, from there, we'll present a letter to the full board instead. So you don't have to vote on anything today because there's nothing to vote on. Yeah, the next meeting at the full board, so it'll be.
Yeah.
Okay. It would be a during, okay,
Yeah.
all right. It'll be during the weekday because I know that it's too many short time between
It
now
doesn't-
and
I
then
mean-
I'm just letting people know.
Big-
No,
Some big room with lunch or dinner,
No.
it would be nice.
no, it's Zoom. It'll be Zoom. Zoom. It'll be Zoom.
Sanaya,
Huh? Who's that?
no, I'm just joined into the Zoom, and
Okay. All right.
I'm
All right,
Andrea
right.
Johnson, and
Okay,
I
wait. Excuse me, Miss Johnson. We're still dealing with parcel A. We're not dealing with 2950 yet.
Okay,
Okay, thank you. All right, Rochelle? Rochelle, you have a
Yes.
question?
Yes.
Stop it.
I am a tenant at Ocean Towers.
No, this is not yet. This is not yet. This is
Not yet. Okay, I'll put my hand up later. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, I
I
put
guess
one more question about this topic.
No more questions.
Thank you for coming, look over.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
yeah.
okay. Yeah, we'll coordinate
Eddie,
something
you'll
within the
email me.
next day. Yes.
But it's gonna be the land use committee, right?
Yes, just
Right,
like,
just not
just
like-
like, yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So we can make some progress
Yeah.
and get it before the end of the month. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll get it before that. We'll get it before that. Yeah, okay. A lunch. It'll be a lunch meeting so that everybody can cut out their lunch to have the meeting. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
coming.
everyone.
Thank you.
thank you.
All right.
Now, the next topic on the agenda,
See.
is regarding the Attorney LaBelle. You know, the famous, you've done a million of these already. Yeah. All right, 2950 West 24th Street, rezoning Ocean Tower Partners. It's about zoning map amendments, R6. A zoning text, special permit, including 315,000 square feet of residential, over 10,000 square feet of community facility, 7,000 square feet of commercial is being sold for private applicants. Ocean Tower Partners, 2950 West 24th Street in Coney Island. Tony LaBelle.
Chair, good to see everyone tonight. So just a brief introduction. Between 2010 and 2020, population in Community District 13 rose by close to 5%. During that same amount of time, the vacancy rate went down to about 1.5%. So what happens in that instance? Upward pressure on rents, which rose over that amount of time more than 50%. So when we look at rezonings and we look at potential areas for rezonings, we're working with the city and we're trying to find sites that are appropriate. And so when Demetrius approached me about this site, the question was whether or not this site and this block would be appropriate for rezoning. So what does city planning look for when they look to that area for rezoning?
So, you know
Oh,
what?
Yelene, you gotta go out.
But what does city planning
Thank
look
you.
for when they look at potential rezoning and whether or not it's appropriate? They look at the street system in the area, whether or not the street widths are sufficient in order to allow for access to the site. Here, we've got wide streets of 80 feet and 120 feet in terms of Surf and Mermaid Avenues. They look at the transportation in the area, whether or not there's subway systems nearby. Here, we're within 0.6 miles of the subway station, which, while not ideal, is also about half a mile closer than a previous rezoning to the south of the site, southwest of the site, which was sort of the same R73 district. And importantly, they also look at the existing zoning district. And the existing zoning district here is an R6 zoning district. So what does that mean? It means that despite the fact that there's an existing 19-story building on this site, Demetrius is able to put up a building right now that's 370,000 square feet. That's as of right, going into the Department of Buildings and filing plans and materials to put up a building that's bigger than the building in terms of the bulk, the size, the square footage of the building that he's proposing at this site. And so why wouldn't he do that? There's a few reasons. One, it's a terrible building. It is a stocky building. It is wider on the space. It takes up more of the lot area. It also takes up the potential space between the buildings in terms of putting it apart. It is a building which has a mix of uses, which includes not only residential, but also community facility. That building, that 370,000 square foot building would have 140,000 square feet, 140,000 of community facility doctor's offices. And so when you look at what's there right now, what he can do versus the potential of what he's able to do if he got rezoned, and you look at the margins and the difference, including the traffic. And if you could just imagine for a second what a building with 140,000 square feet of community facility doctor's office on top of, or in the same building is 230,000 square feet of residential, what a mess that would be, including for offices and medical offices and cars coming in and out all day, it would be a disaster. So when Demetrius approached us with regards to whether or not it was appropriate for him to go to the city with rezoning, we said, sure, why not? I've known Demetrius for years. We've worked on other applications together in Brooklyn. I think he's a wonderful applicant. That's my personal feeling, having worked with a lot of people. And I think he means what he says and he's truthful. And so we went to the city and proposed this application to them. And they said that they would back us in terms of asking for this. So with that, we're going to go through the presentation. Van's going to go through the architectural aspects of the presentation. We have our environmental consultants and Demetrios here to answer any questions, and we're hopeful we can get the support of the committee. So what are we seeking today? As suggested, there's the first part, which is not really much of a rezoning. Along Surf Avenue, there's a reduction of an existing commercial overlay from 150 feet to 100 feet. Why is that? City planning said there's a commercial overlay. It's previously existing on Surf. There's no commercial use between 100 and 150 feet. Would you do us a favor, fix the map and reduce that fine? Nothing to do with us. We don't own the property that would be impacted by that. The second thing is a zoning text amendment. Well, sorry. The second thing is existing R6 zoning district changes to an R73 zoning district. The R73 zoning district would allow the building, as we're proposing it, to be used entirely for residential. It would create 410 residential units instead of the 230 residential units and massive amount of doctor's offices that would be available as of right. All of those would be affordable. Ron Schulman is on the call. He's able to speak to the affordability of those units. So that's the second part of the rezoning. And then finally, there's the existing R6. Oh, so there's the R6 district to R73C24. So what happens? We also rezone the portion along Mermaid Avenue, which is 125 feet from Mermaid, and allows for some commercial use. When we were at the full board discussion on this, the opportunity to allow for new commercial, to allow for a food store, importantly, was something which we heard was very important and sounded like a good idea. So in addition to roughly 8,000 square feet of new commercial space, which would service existing and proposed residents, there is also a 10,000 square foot allocation to community facility space, which would allow for whatever would be sought by the community, we thought perhaps a daycare would be the most appropriate use of that space. That's the action. There's also a text amendment. What does the text amendment do? It says to Demetrios, you've got to do affordability at the site. And so that, as far as zoning is concerned, it gets mapped over his district and it requires affordability. For Demetrios, he said, no problem. This is going to be a 100% affordable building. So I don't care if there's an MIH district, which there will be. And finally, two other special permits. One of them is a 74-743, which allows modifications of the bulk of the building. What is this about? And Van can talk to this. It allows for changes in the height of the street wall. It allows him to mass a little bit taller along Mermaid and a little bit shorter towards towards the middle of the block, so the building can be a little bit more contextual, try to ease the height down into the middle of the block. And so that's what's sought by the special permit for a large scale. And finally, a reduction of parking spaces. There's existing required parking at the site of 117 spaces. The new building would require 50 spaces. That's 167 spaces. In order to allow for this property and this site to work, there'd be a reduction of 24 spaces. I know that's not great. I had my ears open at the community board hearing like everybody else. But the truth of the matter is we look at a lot of things, and Matt and Olga can talk to this, our environmental consultants. It's not great, but it's okay because we looked at the existing utilization of spaces on the site. And also, interestingly, they look at what a no action scenario would be. What is a no action scenario? No action is we don't come in for rezoning, special permit, nothing. We build our additional 370,000 square feet. What does traffic look like in that respect? Terrible. So really, if you're adding the residential units here and just requiring a waiver of those 24 spaces, it is a much better site, a much better project, and much better for the area. On the next slide. Okay, so what is this going to allow? As we discussed at the last meeting, an 18-story building to be massed along West 25th Street, roughly 334,000 square feet of residential, of which there'd be an additional 315,000 square feet of residential. As I mentioned, close to 11,000 square feet of community facility and roughly 7,800 to 8,000 square feet of commercial space, as we just talked about. The existing building at the site remains the 19-story building. That's 367,000 square feet. And as we also said, this proposed building up to 410 dwelling units, 408 of those are income restricted and pursuant to the ELA program. We get into the low affordability. When I've come to Community Board 13 in the past with projects which did not reflect full affordability, there was a discussion at the time that said, can you try to get more affordable units? Can you try to get deeper affordability? This is a program sponsored by the city, the ELA program, which allows you to really get into those deep affordability and lower rents. That's the goal here. Next slide. There's the zoning map. You can see the R6 zoning there and C12. Been so zoned since 1970, 55 years now since anyone's touched the zoning on that site. And as you can imagine, a lot's changed in the last 55 years. And so that's the discussion right now. If you're going to try to create some affordability, some housing, update the commercial, update the community facility, where is a good place to put it? And so the idea here is that if you've got a lot which can already put a building of this size on it, and you're able to just reduce some parking lot area and also to take advantage of some open area, some overgrown area, and put some potential units there, that's the goal. So that's the site. So there's the R73 district. Again, the R73 district would subsume the R6 district. That'd be the new district there, which would allow this change and allow for the residential. And again, commercial now would be allowed on Mermaid Avenue. It's not currently allowed there right now. Sorry, Surf. It's not currently allowed there. You're not allowed to put commercial along Surf right now. But basically with the commercial overlay, city planning said, let's try to plan this out. Let's try to create some commercial, some retail, a food store there so that you can service a little bit more of the surrounding community, not only the residents and tenants of the existing and proposed buildings, but also the surrounding buildings. That's the area map. And again, why does this present well in terms of a potential rezoning? Mermaid Avenue at 80 feet, a wide street per zoning. Surf Avenue by 120 feet, an extra wide feet per zoning. The R72 district here, as well as the R73 district, so zoned within the last 10 to 15 years, further away from the subway, but the same zoning district as we're currently requesting, half a mile closer to the subway, which is meaningful. And then, of course, the existing building stock in the area, a 19-story building on our site, 17-story buildings around us, additionally, 16-story buildings and other tall buildings in the immediate area of the site. 5 buildings over 16 stories or greater, and an additional 6 buildings between 11 and 16 stories. This is not an area where height and density is not known. Pictures of the site, you can see the existing building facing West 24th Street, as well as the pictures to follow. Everyone's familiar with the area, but you can get some idea. You can see the massing of the building all the way on West 24th Street. This, of course, would be on West 25th. With that, I would shift the conversation over to Van, who is able to discuss the architectural aspect.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Van. I represent Ferris Ginsberg Architect to walk through the building design. So as you can see in the rendering here, we're proposing the highest portion, that's 18-story, 300,000 square feet of a residential building mixed with the community facility and retail space at the ground floor facing the Surf Avenue. I just want to kind of touch base this massing a little bit. I know people are concerned about, like, do we get lights? Do we get air into the space? So when we were developing, sculpting the massing, we did take it into the consideration. And one thing the city planning want us to kind of review in large is if we can kind of put a bulk mainly fronting the Surf Avenue because it's a wider street, right? We'll have less impact. Second, they want. Maybe I stand here.
Yeah, that's good.
How's that here? So, and at the front of the building, the city planner did ask us to kind of study this, if we can kind of step out the building. You can see the side is sort of the angle. We sort of set it back here, the plaza, and at the front of the area. As you sort of see, the last time there is retail space, right? Roughly 8,000 and 9,000 square feet. And initially, as mentioned last time, potentially there should be a cafe that have a plaza in front of it that people can kind of make that enjoy. And the building gradually set back. The lowest portion is actually, I believe that's a 8-story building portion. And
Are you good? We can't hear you. And are you gonna allow us to speak? You're giving us all these
Yeah,
statistics.
you can have a question. Let them finish presenting.
All these
Um,
statistics, it's.
You see the slides? I don't know if you see the slides. They're not here. Okay, a little bit closer, a few more minutes. Sorry about this.
Sorry about that. So the building gradually set back, right? The lowest portion is 8-story, the highest portion is 18-story. 2 of the roof area has a PV panel right now is planning. Underneath those are the outdoor recreation space. So these are kind of like spaces can be utilized by the residents in this building.
Stop.
Okay, I know there's a question about how far is the building against the existing ocean towers. We do have a portion that you can see in the drawing. It seems like the tightest point over here, but it is actually a 1-story portion of the building because that's a retail space we want to maximize the retail on the ground floor. The rest of the area, the tightest is actually the building kind of stepping back the most existing. That portion is 75. When you get to the widest, that's 100 feet. And the way we designed this, we designed the building efficiently that only take up about 65 feet of a floor plate. In front of it, we do have a setback because we have to deal with the flood zone. We also create a mitigation kind of like against the street. So you kind of, when you're walking down the street, you feel a much wider side here. Sort of have also like circulation next to it. The park is the green area in between the 2 buildings together. That's a total 20,000 square feet, right? 20,000 square feet of a green area that has a program for potential like a lounge, seating, adults equipment spaces, kids equipment spaces. So these are kind of, we try to kind of create this more like a sort of like a park. So the residents in both buildings can actually enjoy the space. We should also kind of answer in large last time about this, how the program of the space. Okay, so this is sort of like what the building look like right now. As you can see, that sort of have a 2-tone. We have a street frontage. above certain height, we do have the setback. And that's the main reason we have to request for the zoning actions to waive certain height and setback in current zoning, because if we don't do that, that building will look very bulky. So we try to kind of articulate that language to have this two-tier stepping in the design. The purple or the blue area, as you kind of highlighted, that's really the portion we're asking for. Just give us a little bit of flexibility to articulate the building facade, make it a better nesting. So next couple slide talk about the location. Again, it's not like kind of we're asking for waive the entire zone, just like current zoning is saying that you have to step back a certain height. We can articulate with the donor rule, but right now this is like give us the possibility to decide how we want to allocate it.
Thanks, Van. So I know it's been hard for some people on the call to hear, but basically Van just walked through the statistics and the numbers behind the building. Again, we're thankful for the opportunity to present to the community board. We feel that we have a project which has a lot of merit to it. And while we understand all of the discussion and all the issues which have been raised, the short of it is that we're asking for a building which is less than you'd currently be able to put on the site, which is a better building in terms of creating affordable housing, which allows for a 20,000 square foot open space between the buildings to provide for some park, some area for relaxation, as Demetrius talks about, an opportunity for neighbors to talk to neighbors, and also with that, adding some commercial and community facility space to make this a development which is really going to service the people here and the potential people who would be coming in. So with that, the entire applicant team is happy to answer questions.
Oh, please, question.
Yes. This is
You're answering questions from us.
No, what happens, we're going to first go people physically here, but that's the first questions, and then we're gonna go on Zoom with your permission.
so,
Thank you.
I just. Given the building, across the street, with 17 Department of Building violation, 14 Environmental Control Board violation, multiple serious injuries with workers actually hospitalized by falling bricks, none of which have been paid. Why should tenants or the city believe that you're committed to building safety and legal compliance?
Sure. Demetrius, do you want to
I
call?
would like to answer that question. Firstly, violations of record.
Oh, I'm helping.
I understand, but I'm just gonna say what I have. Violations of record don't necessarily equate to physical. We've been working on the facade since August 2020. We got demobilized by the architect Orion Engineering in October. We're waiting for a safe classification. There's a glitch in the system. We haven't gotten it yet, but the building is safe. No more work. No more work. We spent $4 million repairing. We thought we were going to spend $700,000, but we had inspected every square foot of that facade, 180,000 square feet. Now, with that engineer dropped with the contractor, various drops from the building the same. Violations of record, most of them are going to go once we get the safe certificate. The accident was caused by a contractor not following his contract with the owner as prescribed by the engineer. Specs in there, they failed to stabilize areas on the north wall. I think it was on the fourth floor thereabouts. And what they did is they made it loose. He didn't put protective netting on it. They said, well, we're gonna save some money. We'll just take it off by hand. So everything was cool. They went down, they went and had lunch. Come back from lunch, got off the telephone pole, I saw the video. Started going up, the ropes hit that area that they had destabilized by taking out the bricks without securing the area. It fell on them. When they the bricks fell on them. Neither of them died, so it's almost more critical than the other. The other one left the hospital the same day. The other one is still alive. He's suing the building, suing the and what happened in the lawsuit is S&J, which was the contractor, had a separate their claim against us Because when the engineers report then, we had a Kiwi named John Necrosis. He was assigned by the building department. He went and investigated and reported to a chief inspector, Philip Mezzatesta, facade unit. And his report indicated that it was caused by the contractor's negligence for following the plan. With the owners, they came to the word, we don't sue them. It was very unfortunate. If no one got hurt, no one got killed. No one got hurt. I'm sorry to do that. The hospital said, now there's a lawsuit, person's alive, he's gonna get something. We can quantify with the contract. Physical conditions, that building, say, 4 years, $4 million, say.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you for being, yeah. You have questions or? We're gonna be going this way. Fix it. Yeah, might as well, yeah. You? Hi.
During your presentation, you said that 24 parking space that you're gonna remove will improve traffic because.
Yeah, sure.
He's back here.
So
Okay, so the
there's,
question was that during the presentation, he said that removing 24 parking spots will improve traffic in the area. I want to know more details how it's gonna improve traffic in the area, because parking spaces located between the existing and new proposed building and the other building that face Mermaid Avenue. So how those internal parking spots, removing those spots will improve traffic?
yeah, no, I didn't, just to be clear, I didn't say that it would improve traffic. What happens is this, there's a special permit to reduce the number of spaces. We're providing 143 spaces, 167 are required. It's a reduction of 24 spaces. The statement that I made, which is true, is that if you put 140,000 square feet of doctor's offices on the top 3 floors of the building, let's say, you would basically have a condition where if you're looking at traffic and parking, you're getting, as you know, doctor's offices have visitors every hour. People are coming in and out of the site. It's kind of a nightmare. So when the traffic analysts look at the potential difference between what's proposed and what could be the as of right condition, they look at the difference between those two traffic patterns, and they rightly determine that when you have a residential building, most of the traffic is people coming in the morning and out at night with some variation. Whereas if you're at a doctor's office, people are coming in and out all day. So again, like we've got Matt and Olga who are able to discuss the traffic patterns in the area and why we asked for the special permit. But again, like I'm not saying as an absolute matter that reduction is going to improve the traffic in the area. What I am saying is that compared to the as of right condition, it's an improvement.
Okay, let's continue with parking.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I remember just 2 weeks ago or week ago when we had our general board meeting, we were told that currently it's 160 parking spaces and only 60 are utilized for whatever reasons. I did not buy explanation. So there are 2 buildings with 160 spaces. Now it's going to be 3 buildings if you get a permit, and it's going to be less parking space. Again, we all live in the area. You don't, okay? You don't. So saying that your traffic study or whatever you perform gives you impression, because I cannot call it different way, that parking is plenty of parking. It's not true, number 1. Number 2, it was also said during the board meeting that one of the reasons your parking spaces are not utilized because people have no money to buy cars and pay for insurance. Half of your apartments have, even though you call it affordable, that's different topic and different discussion, gonna pay pretty significant amount of money for their apartment. So the claim that those people have no money to buy car and pay for insurance, to me personally, it's kind of offensive, number 1. Okay, just let me finish. Okay, yes. So again, Nobody can come to Coney Island, and regardless what kind of reasons in beautiful sentences you give us, the reduction of parking, it's a crime in this area. Number one, I have some following up. There are 2 buildings right now. I have never seen, I'm a member of community board for 20 years, and I'm a member of land use committee for 20 years. And I remember when we met first time. Okay. I have never seen not beautiful presentation. All presentations are beautiful. You gave us about your full resilience building and on and on and on and on. And it's not you, it's city who doesn't care about Coney Island being flood zone with mandatory evacuation. They're bringing more and more and more housing to Peninsula. But what is here now? It's not empty yet. It is empty lot. But what is it? It's a green space? Yes. So you take in green space, okay, when it's very important in flood zone, it's very important to build one more building. Have you met with your current residents? Did you meet with the residents of Tower 1 and Tower 2?
I have.
And?
I've been there since 2015.
No. You are coming with the major project, which is going to affect each and every resident, current resident, and you are telling us that you did not meet with residents yet?
Not yet, but I know it's coming.
Huh?
I know it's coming. We're getting together, us residents with them.
Okay.
They haven't met with us. Not yet.
But before, wait, they submitted, I remember you, I believe we spoke, okay?
Yes.
Rezoning, what we call URLAP, rezoning, it's a very, very expensive project. So they already started this expensive project.
I Googled it.
Expensive project. So I would be wondering why meeting with current residents did not take place.
So that,
Sure.
4 years. 4 years. What am I supposed to do? We'll meet everybody in 4 years. We didn't know how far we were gonna go. The DCP gave us the go ahead. So that was like less than a month ago.
No, it was more than a month ago.
No.
I know you're the process by car.
Do we have an opportunity to present right now?
Huh?
Do we have an opportunity to talk right now or no?
Certification day.
On the 21st, it happened on the 21st of January. That's when we were certified.
But you certified.
Maybe never materialized. As soon as we knew they were materialized, we did post things in the lobby. People came to the community board, they voiced their opinions, and they will continue voicing their opinions. But I know one thing, we're doing something. There's maybe shortcomings, a plus, a minus, but this is a good thing.
That's how you're being developer and owner. That's what you believe in. I mean,
This is what
I mean,
do. That's my life.
again, my life community should be respected. That's how I see it.
So we have a question or? All right, Lucy. And then we'll go.
Just for my own, I'm gonna be very short on what I'm asking. For my own purpose, I'm looking at the R7 here, which is on 30th and 29th. Can someone tell me which building that is? Oh, I don't think that's me. This is, you said there was an R7 close by. Can you tell me?
Yeah.
Which exact building that is?
So let's take a look. So there's an R7
The
2.
YMCA? I just want to
Yeah, sure.
how high, that's why I'm going with that.
Sure. The R7 2, which is 3 blocks to the west, has a 12-story building. Sure.
I'm sorry, continue. Which building is it?
It's a 12-story
No,
building.
no, but what's the name of the building? It gives me an idea. I didn't see it here.
Yeah, we're gonna get you the name of the building. I'd also add just one thing with regards to the parking, and again, thank you, Elena, for the comments. There's, as part and parcel of every rezoning application, there's an environmental review which takes place. And city planning determines one of two things. They either say that there's an proposed impact from what's being requested, or there's not a proposed impact. If there's a proposed impact, they ask the applicant to mitigate. And so oftentimes, as part of a rezoning application, there's mitigation in terms of noise, traffic, air pollution, what have you. The City Planning Commission and the Environmental Review Department basically issued a negative declaration with regards to this site, which basically means that in all the impact categories that they looked at, they basically said that there was insufficient impact of the proposal to have a material impact on all of these impact categories. And what do they look at? They don't just look at what you're proposing. Like I talked about, they look about what you can do as of right, a no action scenario. If you've just built the proposed building as you could just by going to the Department of Buildings. So again, while we understand parking and traffic, and I wish it was something that was easily resolved, the truth is that a lot of these projects right now, since City of Yes don't propose any parking, that's obviously not the case here. The legal parking minus 24 spaces is what's being provided. So yes, that is something we're asking for in order to be able to build on this site. But we feel that on the whole, if you're looking at the positives and negatives, as Demetrius has suggested, that the positives would outweigh the negatives, particularly in this on that part of it. So
And thank you. I think this lady just raised her hand. So I'm gonna go with what she said. Thank you. So I have one question and one request. If they get the zoning change, how does this set a preference for our neighborhood? That's the question to the committee. I live on 25th Street. I ask this committee, if you vote in favor of the zoning change, please add the condition about the parking. As I stated at the board meeting, I would be more than happy to find people to fill those spaces. My understanding is $75 a month, according to this gentleman or someone said it. Please note that I went by there and I saw no signage about people can rent the space, that parking. I did speak to people at 288, many of the teachers there, and they'll be more than happy to rent out those spaces. So if you guys decide to do that, I ask to place a condition that they remain the parking there and publicize that it's available to the public to rent, as this gentleman stated. Wait, let me finish my sentence.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
I didn't know that. On the entrance, there's a big sign with the number that they can call. There's a management office very close to the area on the Mermaid Park. And we've not had good success. Last time I checked the rent roll before I knew there was going to be a parking issue, I said, well, let me just see if many people rent it. It was 60.
I'm saying to you that I'm an advocate of this community for over 30-something years. I'm willing to do it for free and help you get those spaces filled. As I said, we spoke to many teachers at 288 and they would be more than happy to rent those spaces if it's at that rate. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I have to interject with that, okay? Because I work at PS 329 for 27 years now, okay? 27 years. And you know, all around that area, from Surf Avenue to Mermaid Avenue, there's no parking. So guess where we have to park? Guess where we have to park? We have to rent out across the street in Grenadier Parking. Do you think they charge us the same amount as the tenants? Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you right now, absolutely not. I pay one more time, Jimmy, I'm sorry, but I pay one more time and then no more because they put up on us teachers in there to $400 a month. For if I'm lying, I'm lying.
Saying is not true.
What?
What he indicated that they charge the same price to the community as they charge the tenant. This gentleman indicated.
Well, I'm ready to tell you. Hold on, wait a minute, hold on, please, Mr. Dimitri. Let me be able to say this. What I'm gonna say to you, how fair would it be for a teacher at PS 288 to pay what I pay for where I live at Ocean Towers? When I work at PS 329. I have to drive to work, even though you may say, oh, well, why do you drive to work? Because you know why? When I leave my school, I go work for my union in the city. So I need my car to get out of Coney Island, okay? We don't get no short change, and I will bring anybody a receipt. You go up there to Grenadier, up them stairs, and they will tell you, we are not tenants there. We pay this amount of rent. And I'm sorry, I'll be damned if and I know everybody in 288 and they know Suzette Robbins. And let me tell you something right now. It will be not one time no one will pay what I pay and any of the tenants in that building pay. Hands down, okay? Because some of them make more than me.
Okay, I hear you, Ms. Robbins. I wasn't addressing the situation with you. I didn't know what you're paying. I was addressing what he said at the
No,
meeting.
you saying that you want to get
But
people.
if the rate is what he
Alright.
said it
It
was,
wouldn't be there.
but that's
So-
what, then you're verifying what I'm going with. The rate is not gonna be that, but that's not what we were told. We were told at the board meeting, let me finish my sentence, sir. You were told at the board meeting that the rate is the same for anyone that is interested. That's what was his words, not mine, ma'am.
Okay, well, that's gonna definitely change. On that,
It's not my name's not Jeannie. Lucy, but nice to talk.
Lucy, okay.
So if it's that case, then of
Okay.
course people will rent it, and if they're gonna rent it for 400, no.
Okay.
That's Jimmy.
I would like to know when the Zoom people can
After
speak.
we finish, we got five more people here. Then we
Okay,
go to
thank you.
five more, believe.
But
Maybe
maybe
four.
there, that time, the inspector from you, they came, they say, you cannot be renting around this area until they finish with the facade. Because they have to be certain away from the building, just in case something happens, bridge or whatever. So we have a list of those teachers across the street that they were interested to rent over there. We have it. So now that you're talking about, we can call them and let them know.
How much?
Cases.
How
But
much?
we're gonna be repaving that parking lot after the construction that you finish in October. We're gonna repave the whole thing and put the number because, that parking lot was repaved sometime in 2014. It's like 12 years away.
So will the rate be the same for the public as it is for the tenants?
But we've
Like
been
what-
charging $75.
And you said
Every-
60.
Outside, inside.
Better than yes. There I go. Like, you should reach out to those that you have on that list, let them know that the spaces are still available. I know Dimitri, if I have your name correctly, he said, well, you know, we're building, but you know, you're not gonna have everything ready for another 5 years, and I think a couple of dollars in your pocket would be better than nothing. Okay, well, that wasn't necessary by your dollars in your pocket, but what I'm saying is that it wasn't necessary. I was just saying that it would be beneficial to anyone to earn any kind of extra money. I wasn't being disrespectful to you. I'm being to the point here that if you're renting out for the same amount to the people, then please publicize it as you indicated that it has been publicized. This gentleman just indicated he has a list. Reach out to those. I am willing to do a freebie, and then you give me a flyer and I'll go anywhere that you want me to do it and give out that flyer for the tenant. But I ask this committee, if you vote on the rezoning, please put the condition not to reduce the parking. Thank you.
Okay, so parking.
But we're gonna try to get the many as
You had,
possible.
You had a
From the
question?
building
or
first.
Comment? Yes, please.
Just wanted to make a few points to the board and.
Try to make new points, because Park already heard of
Thank
parking.
you, everybody. So I live there, the facade construction was a nightmare.
State your name.
But they
Absolute
fixed it.
nightmare for 5 years. Now, I understand, I will finish, and I would love for you to answer, with all due respect, sir. And, I would tell you right now, with the affordable housing in Coney Island, they're at 30% rental right now as they are. The other thing I want to say, we don't need another supermarket. There are 3 supermarkets literally within a 5-minute walk from Coney Island, or from the 24th and 25th Street. If you really care about us, why don't you fix the green space that we have? And if you really want to help the community, just put a daycare there, because everybody in Ocean Towers would benefit from that, would take an advantage of that. Now, the other thing I want to say here, I'm reading this off of your proposed 408 rental buildings. Okay, so
41 of those, 10% of those are going to be affordable rents. Yes, I see these rents are affordable. However, on the most affordable, a single person has to make $30,600 to qualify, and a family has to make $57,800. Now that is 10%. I don't know that many people that live in Ocean Towers or in the community that make that much money. The majority of the affordable housing, which is 39, almost 40%, a single person needs to make $87,300 and a family needs to make $164,000, 700. That is not affordable housing in the community that we live in. It is already overcrowded. To remove parking and the main thing, sir, please take under consideration, with respect, I am asking you. They're your buildings and you know it. All 3 buildings of Ocean Towers, we all benefit from getting fresh sunlight and fresh air from the west side coming in. And there's no way, if you can mathematically convince me that putting an 18-story building 30 to 60 feet away is gonna enable us to have sunlight and fresh air. It just doesn't line up.
We can go outside to the boat.
Regarding the,
About affordability, excuse me, about percentage, not them.
Amen.
It's a state, unfortunately, and we all have the same questions about this area median income. It's not, unfortunately, it's not Coney Island. It's done differently, and in my opinion, it's done wrong. No, you're absolutely right.
And I love the state, love my apartment, love the management. I've never met you, Kiddios, Dimitri, but you seem like a wonderful. I don't understand you're a businessman, but by goodness. Yeah, so am I, we're both. So let's just consider this. And I'm speaking to you, if you're doing good, sir. I don't think you're not. It's either you're flesh and blood like me.
Right. But it would be the program we read, it's called the other program, sponsored by HPD. It is the most affordable program that you can have in the city for building. The most affordable. There are others that they have. This is the lowest rents, lowest floor. You can't get more affordable than this, and be able to still pay the debt service, because they charge for the thing. You have to pay it. I know that the other program is supposed to work, well, we had something different in that side, we did something where it was a mixed building. They had 130% AMI, which they still consider affordable. You know, it's more, this is by comparison to health. The affordability was the lowest that you can get.
But is it really, really worth it? But it's going to degrade our current lifestyle, our living situation. The people that we live in now, sir.
yeah, let's,
Yeah, let's.
okay, Shalene,
Yeah, we gotta.
Okay,
one more, Shalene Davis, then we'll go online.
done. Okay,
Okay. Shalene Davis, then we'll go on Zoom.
It's more, when you're talking about, a family moving into maybe, a 1-bedroom apartment, a mother and, a child or something and a husband, you can't even put a full-size bed in the bedroom. It's too little. But that's every building that's going up. That's
a future development.
Every building that's having that.
There's certain standards that HPP has, and those have exceeded the size. There's minimum standards. You cannot build smaller than they allow you to build. You think the minimum for 1 bedroom is 501 square feet. That may seem very small.
Yeah, including the technical
There are
kitchen and
areas of Manhattan that is like 300 square feet, 400 square feet.
okay.
Thank you, Shalene Davis.
All right.
Anybody any questions on Zoom?
Okay, we're gonna go with Mark first, and then Rochelle, and then Keith Suber. Mark?
I think I unmuted. Yeah, I have a problem with the developer, not necessarily the project. I'm looking at DOB Now's website. The current civil penalties he owes
We
on
spoke about this.
building runs is $684,060. And they date back to 2021. So giving our imprimatur to anything this developer has to say makes no sense. Now, yes, he can build as of right, but I don't think we should do anything easier. The other thing is your manager, after he was pressed at the public hearing we had, said there's only 60 spaces and he could rent them and they would have to be vacated when the construction came along. Except today he says, well, he had a list, but he can't rent them until the facade's done. Yet the fine, I'm looking at DOB's website, the fine on the facade is $518,060 and it's dated January 21st, 2021. And this hasn't been cleared. So again, I don't see any reason to trust anything this guy has to say, or his lawyer, or any of the other people supporting him. So
She has one of the best lawyers in New York City.
I'll let someone else speak. Thank you.
Can y'all
Does
please,
any,
can you
okay, wait,
please take down the proposed development thing? We don't need to see that. We
Mark,
need to
one
see
second.
each
Mark,
other.
are you done? Mark, are you done? Okay, you're done, right?
okay.
Yes, I'm finished. That was my
Thank you, Mark. Always wonderful to hear from you.
Okay, Rochelle and then Keith. Rochelle, you got to unmute.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to try to be calm and cool about this, but I live in Ocean Towers. And my issue is, number one, this building, I've lived here for many, many years. I've moved from apartment to apartment. This building is not stable enough to sustain another building being built behind it. Number one, that's number one. Number two, I used to be able to see all the way to Coney Island to Nathan's. I can't see anything that way now because of those developments. And the opposite is going to be the same. I see the Verrazano Bridge, I see the water. And on top of that, the parking lot is just really it's a nice a nice amenity because we need it, and if it's offered to other people. But to build another building behind this building is going to be disastrous. Demetrius, I met him in person when he came and bought this building. He promised us many things, and only thing we got was a bunch of trees and a bunch of gates in the front of the building. Nothing done inside, no electricity, no water problems. We have leaks, we have water bugs, we have a lot of issues in this building. And you want to build a new building behind it that is not affordable. As the gentleman just said, it's not affordable. And the lady, all of us have said the same things over and over. So you developers, I understand y'all want to make money. Y'all want to, it's not feasible. We need to have a nice, beautiful green space behind this building that makes our children happy, that makes the air breathe better. We don't need all this construction and nonsense. When they built the building on the corner of West 24th Street and Mermaid, they're building a building there, which is a community center, Cary Gardens. This building was shaking like a leaf. I live here. So that's what I'm going to say. And I appreciate you all listening, but it's really not about anything but human compassion and taking care of people. not building buildings on top of each other. We all here like a bunch of roaches as it is. Close together, clean, we can't even breathe properly. So I'm sorry that I'm getting a little emotional, but that's what I have to say about this project in general. Everybody else needs to jump in and let them know that we need some clean air, some clean space. This building used to be beautiful. I moved here 45 years ago.
Thank you very much for sharing. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Just literally one point, which is that when we talk about the as of right building that could be built there, it would cause the building space, the space between the buildings to be 60 feet. When you have a through lot between two streets, you're required to keep a 60-foot space between the two buildings. Why? It reflects a 30-foot rear yard on both frontages, West 24th and West 25th. The proposal right now, with the waivers we're asking for, allows that space to be at its narrowest space, other than the one story, 75 feet wide, and going up to a width between the buildings of 105 feet wide. So again, it's important to just look at what you could do there right now and what happens to the space between the buildings, which goes from being 60 feet with no improvement to the green space to 75 to 105 feet with a 20,000 square foot green space for everyone to use. It's just.
But why do we need that? We don't need that, sir. Gentlemen, the lady just.
So you're not even thinking about our children,
Okay.
you're not thinking about
No,
the.
we're going to listen to you. Ma'am, 1 second, one at a time, please.
Okay.
As long as you're clear, they have a right to build, not question. They can build A, B, C, but they have, just know that for the record.
That option.
Well, it's a choice. They decide, it's their choice.
Okay.
I like to say,
Please.
this person lives it and doesn't see the new windows. They don't see the new hydronic system that I put in, replacing the electrical baseboard system that had caused fires in the past because curtains caught fire. All right. They haven't seen the vents that we put in the building. We put in $14 million worth of work in that building since we've been there. $14 million. I don't know how it's not obvious to you that you have a new front door, you have new closet doors. How do you miss this by living in the building and saying nothing has been done? We did more things to that building than any private landlord, apart from when it was first built. And we're there every day.
Okay. Keith is next, and then Jessica.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Keith.
Hey.
How are you guys doing? I just wanted to touch on a few things. So one thing we have to understand, like Scotty said, that it is already approved. They can build what they want to build. When
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Excuse me, please. I sat here and I've been extremely quiet while you talked. I could have interjected. Okay? So they have a right to build. They're looking for the zoning right for air rights. That's what they're asking the community for. So when they come in and buy a property, of course they're looking to make a profit because it's privately owned. And we say green space, people are scared to even walk down that block at night because for 40 years it's been dormant. You know, the deers and the coyotes swim from Staten Island and they hide in there in the winter. If anybody knows the deer was on the loose and he was hiding in there. Just trying to bring a little humor and settle things. The supermarket, has anyone ever thought about the people that live across the street in the Haber houses, the senior development? Where do they go shopping? So it can be a great thing. The green space, it needs to be redeveloped but brought to life. You know, we have a lot of things coming to Coney Island that we agreed on, a lot of things that we don't agree on. And there's a lot of things the community doesn't even have the opportunity to have a say so. At least they're giving the opportunity. And I do agree with the tenant. Now that you told them a lot of things that you would like to see fixed, and I think that these guys will work with the community. I think they will give a shot. I think they'll fix. You want a door fixed, you put a ticket in, you follow the protocol. You know, I've seen it. They're putting up brickwork, they have scaffolds around the building. They are trying. And that place is a blind sight. You walk down there at night, I guarantee no lady walks down that block at night, at least by herself alone. It's so dark over there. We need to bring new life. We need to bring the new life. So I would hope that the developer would listen to the people, meet with some of the tenants there. You have a very strong voice there in Suzette Robinson. Meet with some of the tenants and organize it. Lucy, you spoke about the parking. I think the parking should go to the residents first. And then if the school teachers, you know, they want to, that should have been discussed when they did the park, when they did the whole school over. They should have gave the teachers parking space. So let's not just take away from the developer. Give him an opportunity to see what he can at least bring to the neighborhood. See what he offers. How you doing,
Okay.
Suzette? How are you?
Okay.
Thank you for your comment. Appreciate it.
Thanks. All right, next is Jessica and then Gloria.
Hi, Jessica. Thank you.
Hi,
for
how you
coming.
doing? So basically, I'm against it. I have children. I live in Ocean Towers. We are a family of asthmatics. So y'all building a building behind us will only affect our health. I'm not only talking about my children, but I'm talking about other families who have health conditions, and I'm also talking for the elderly. As a health professional that I used to work as a home attendant. So I don't think it's fair to us that y'all building right behind us.
All right, next.
Thank you for your comment.
Okay, Gloria.
Gloria Watkins, or which Gloria?
Yes, Gloria. Unmute yourself, Gloria.
Hi, Gloria.
Hello, everybody. I listened to the whole thing. I just have to make a correction with one of the developers there. If he was talking about that location across the street from the YMCA, that's 29. No. I'm just saying he was mentioning something about a building that was 12 feet off of 29th and 28th Street. It's a building that they already have the foundation down to build in the parking lot of 2955. That's across the street from the YMCA. Okay. I used to live there. If I was still living there and in the back and having a building coming up where somebody could look right into my apartment or vice versa, it's no good. That's number one. Number two, they're talking about development all over Coney Island, and it's a ball of confusion. They have buildings that's up now that's not even fully have occupants. That's number two. The other thing, you're going to take middle class income, low income, and there's no such thing as real high income with all these different programs like Section 8 and so on and so forth. That's another thing. The other thing is recreation for seniors, kids, or whoever and whatever. You're talking about building, putting people in these buildings. It's all about the money. That's number one. Everything is all about the money, not people well-being. And the last thing, it might not be the last thing, this is a whole lot of stress. The stress started from the White House and it's staying right here in Coney Island. I have never seen anything like this in my life. I lived in Brooklyn my whole life. I'm 71 years old, and this is taking it to a different level. The other thing is, if another Sandy come and welcome themselves into Coney Island, we might not make it out of here. Because these buildings, mark my word, I might not live to see this, but when one building is going to be a domino effect. One building, I heard the lady said, when they building something by Ocean Towers, she could feel the trembling. Okay. We already had a couple of mild earthquakes that hit New York and Coney Island. Could you imagine These buildings is not coming up very safely. It's another building, new building. I don't know if these guys have their money in it. Down there by Surf Avenue, no, it's on 21st or 22nd Street. It's down there going towards the subway. This past summer, I walked down that block and I saw people standing outside the new building. And I talked to everybody. I've lived in this neighborhood for like 55 years, to put it that way. And they was complaining. The building is new and stuff is coming out of the walls. They got holes in the wall, the heat, the this, the that. Seeming that it was summer, it wasn't the heat, it was the air conditioner. Why are you gonna build buildings and you won't be able to have people living in these apartments from the first floor to the top floor? For example, that building, this is it. That building outside Seagate, it's not even filled up and it's been there.
But that's not this issue. That's not this issue.
I know, but it's still going into the same, it's under the same, let me just say this. Just let me say this. It's all under the same umbrella. Until things start happening, it's going to be a big lawsuit sooner or later. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your comment, Gloria Watkins.
All right.
Anybody else on Zoom as a comment?
All right. One more. First, Carol B.
Then Michael Stivelman.
Carol B.
Hi, Carol.
Yes, hello. Good evening, everyone tonight.
It's hard to hear you. Maybe try to reconnect and Michael Stivelman. Meanwhile, you get the audio correct. Michael Stivelman, you have the question?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, welcome back.
Yes. Good.
I've been living in this building for quite some time, and I'm up in age, and I just would like to know, why would they build a building behind this building where this building has so much trouble already? The building shakes by itself without any bother to it. So why would they build another building behind it? I don't understand. The sewage that's in this building, it smells horrible when you come inside of the building. Why would they build another building here? They should fix what's going on with the building now. No heat, cold water. Come on. We don't need another building. We need help with this building. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment,
Okay.
Michael Stivelman.
All right.
I think I heard that you said that you did a traffic study.
We did.
Okay, when? Oh, Olga, Matt, are you able to talk about that?
But nobody else on Zoom, right?
Oh, one more.
One more. Okay, after Michael Stivelman.
Okay.
If you come a bit closer to the
You gotta get to the mic over here. The out.
Here's the microphone.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi.
Shoot.
Hi.
Hello.
No, just you got a question to answer. Then you're gonna have your question.
What specifically did you want to know about the traffic study?
When did you do it?
It was performed as part of the environmental assessment statement that was completed over the last 2.5 years. in conjunction.
What day? What month? What month?
There was no in-person surveys. Based on what could be developed as of right and the proposed project, the increments didn't meet the thresholds for detailed analysis.
In January.
Actually, it's different. They never.
Basically, we're never here
Never here.
to see a pattern or how.
Okay,
different
hello.
ones-
1 minute,
There's
please.
nobody's.
Yeah,
Right.
this is gonna be next after.
We conducted a parking inventory analysis in person, and it was done between 8 and 9 PM in night in June 27, 2024. So we took stock of parking on site and also parking within a quarter-mile study area, which is part of the city's process and the way that the city requests we do the analysis. So we did have people on site.
But you did it for parking.
Yes.
Yes,
You
we did
didn't
for
do
parking.
it for traffic flows or how difficult it'll add to the problem that the West End has to get out of the peninsula on two major roads, basically, that go, cut through the island.
Right now, it takes an hour to an hour and a half on any given day
a weekend in the summer to get from the west end to Coney Island to get out. And from Seagate, I'm sorry. Okay, so you tell me, what's the problem with traffic?
We
Other than
conducted,
it stinks.
we understand that this is a very valid concern. I have been a Brooklyn resident as well. We understand completely. We conducted a parking study that's consistent with the way that the city requests. that we
Parking
conduct.
study doesn't help the fire engines and the ambulance getting through on the traffic that's coming in because of all these buildings.
The zoning that exists today allows for more parking and more traffic to be incorporated into the parking network. The analysis that was prepared, again, consistent with the city standards, looks at incrementally how many additional vehicles would be introduced by the proposed residential affordable housing building. Now, when the city looked at the additional vehicles that were going to be incorporated into the traffic network, they identified that after preparing a level 2 parking analysis in concert with a secret technical manual, that it wasn't sufficient parking to propose an impact or introduce a problem that would egregiously.
They don't live here.
They don't, correct, and again, we're not saying that your lived experience is invalid, but we are preparing an analysis that's consistent with the secret technical manual and the city's guidance.
I
which is
need to-
consistent guidance that is applied across the city in order to account for how these projects are considered from the perspective of the analysis required. These are using standards that are offered and prepared by the Department of Transportation and reviewed by the city, including local counts that are done within the parking network. So again, we are completely understanding all of the lived experience here. We are also preparing an analysis that's consistent with what the city is asking for, which was prepared and was approved by the city of New York.
Okay, thank you.
You guys
Thank you.
don't live here. You cannot, when they
Bob-
have an,
They follow
Okay,
guidelines,
okay.
whatever required. You had a question, comment? Anybody else on Zoom had a question, comment?
Okay, there's one, the iPhone, you have to unmute yourself. State your name? We can't hear you. iPhone.
Okay, while you get fixed the line, I believe you had a comment or question?
Neighbor, unmute yourself.
She can't unmute.
Yuri, then,
How many parking spots is there right now?
167 now, and then 20, I thought it was 24 less, so 143 proposed.
So how many is occupied right now by the building?
Okay.
How many?
60.
You're right.
39%.
1/6.
Yeah.
Okay, iPhone, if you want
is
to,
ready.
unmute yourself now. iPhone? She's off, okay. All right,
Yes, oh, yeah.
So, right now, as of right, under current zoning regulations, you build an 8-story structure.
Nine.
I'm sorry?
9-story.
9-story. So what you're basically asking is for the meeting board and the subsequent governing agencies to give you that space between the 9th floor and the 18th floor, so you can build this larger building and under current zoning.
Well, taller, but not larger. It would actually be a smaller build, smaller build.
Exactly, but you're asking basically for government to give you this piece of real estate that you don't currently own. And essentially to give it to you for free. Now, in Manhattan, when people put up tall buildings, they have to buy air rights from neighboring buildings.
Right.
So if you're asking for this valuable piece of real estate, which if it's given to you, it's gonna come at the expense of the residents of the current building on 24th Street, who are gonna lose their natural light. So you're taking that value away from them and giving it to you by government fiat. And, in order to do that, what is the benefit that you're giving to the community?
Right.
Number one, I mean, the community should get something out of that. And I just want to point out that historically, the zoning regulations were created for the very purpose of making sure that people have natural sunlight in their apartments. That's why railroad apartments are outlawed. That's why buildings have to have certain setbacks if they're above a certain height. Because the very purpose of zoning regulations was to preserve natural sunlight for people that live in apartments. And the city for well over 100 years have recognized
the critical importance of that.
Sure.
And you're putting up this new building that you'll only be able to do by government giving you property that you don't own for free. You're taking that away from the current residents of West.
Yeah, so it's not really that we're getting property, the exact amount of square, I'm sorry, can I have an opportunity to talk?
Sorry.
Can I have an opportunity to talk?
I would like you to answer that.
Happy to do it.
Rather than, I don't want
Of
to guess
course.
there.
There's no gaslighting. The building that we're proposing is 367,000 square feet. The building that we could build is 371,000 square feet, a tall, greater, larger building. The building that's proposed goes up to 8 to 9 stories at its lowest height. So the building that we could build would be 9 stories for the entirety of that. It would be like a box. It would take up the entirety of the green space between the area. It would basically reduce the space between the buildings by about 40 feet. And it would also have, sadly, 140,000 square feet of doctor's offices. If you think about a doctor's office as being, I don't know, 300 square feet, 400 square feet.
Sorry.
No, wait, I'm not finished, but but you talked and I didn't talk while you were talking, but I didn't talk while you were talking. I don't
All right,
understand.
Marissa, let him talk.
If you think about a 140,000 square foot doctor's office, it's a terrible building. It basically is hundreds of cars coming in and out every day. It's a bad building. The building that Demetrius wants to build under, it's not even, he's not financing the project. It is an HPD, it is a city HPD project. It's 100% affordable. It's funded by the city. So there's like, he has to negotiate with the city in order to even build that building. He's taking on the responsibility of rezoning the parcel just for the opportunity to ask the city whether or not he can enter this program. So the truth of the matter is, while there's an absolute volume of space that is indeed taller, you might say, quite frankly, that being able to be further apart from the building, particularly the opportunity to create green space, a park with lawn furniture and playground equipment and everything, some people, maybe not you, but some people may say that it's actually a better design for the site. That's all.
Well, that site already has a park, but that park has been closed off to residents. What park? That green space is supposed to be part of that building was originally built. That was a.
Yeah, 12 years ago, we were told about the park. Eddie, you can put out this. Okay, 1 second, I wanna make some comment. When you're talking about building as of right, and talking about the doctor's offices, it's kind of, I'm really sorry to use this word, but it's kind of speculation, because we are talking about community facilities, okay? There is nothing in zoning that says doctor offices. We are talking about community facilities the same way you would have community facilities in your proposed building. You cannot guarantee, as I said before for the previous topic, you cannot guarantee that community facility space will not be occupied with the same doctor. Whatever tenant you get, whatever tenant you take, okay? So telling people that instead of so-and-so doctors and cars will be coming back and forth, you just please mention that you're talking about community facility. It can be daycare, it can be doctors, it can be lawyers, it can be some.
Lawyers.
Okay, it can be doctors, it can be daycare,
Yes.
it can be some community-based organization, and on and on and on. So please don't tell people about doctors that's gonna create traffic,
Correct.
because that's not true.
I just say that the most common use of community facility space in the city of New York happens to be doctor's offices because they pay the most money. And that's
Okay. And no landlord, if space is empty, will not turn away highest paying renter. So let's not talk about that.
Any other questions online on Zoom? Okay, all right, you have the question, comments, or?
Yeah. Have a comment. Okay. So
I
we
have
said-
one more thing to say, please.
Okay, wait, we gotta wait.
Just wait for Don, now we have.
So we're sitting here and we're constantly going back and forth, right? So before this whole plan to build a building behind Ocean Towers, before that even came to light, I'm hearing so much about the traffic. okay? That has been going on for years. And especially in the summertime, without the plan for the building behind Ocean Towers, okay? Starting May, when they had the Mermaid Avenue Parade, that's the first thing to start. Bumper to bumper traffic, everything has changed, okay? There's more ways to get into Coney Island than out of Coney Island. So people that should be here, like people from the Department of Transportation, they should be here, because I remember that morning when I woke up and I thought I was going up the right street. They changed the signs in the middle of the street without notice. But when I turned on the TV, I seen that. So with this building being built, how is that such an impact on traffic? Now, I got a lot of my tenant neighbors that are from the building. Some just recently moved in. I don't know what they feeling or what type of impact or where you came from. I breathe perfectly fine. To each his own at the end of the day, right? When I want to go out and have a good time, I go out. We all go out. But you know what? That back of that building, it's not going to be what we all want it to be at the end of the day. It's just not. It's not going to happen. But everybody has their say about what is going to go on in the back of this building, right? Everybody has their opinions. I want to see a change. I want to see a change. That's my opinion. I'm in support of it. That's mine. Don't hate me because I'm here. Okay, I'm here and I'm speaking. Okay. Because I'm here and I'm speaking on support of this project. Okay. If Ocean Towers was shaking, let me tell you, I would have been out that building the first day I felt the shake. When, not even talking about the earthquake, because everybody felt something shaking. Okay, and everybody fled out of the building into the middle of the street because they didn't know what was happening. But everybody in almost every building in Coney Island felt it. Other than that, okay, if they are doing construction, let's all focus on that center that's 10 years in, and I don't see a light to the end of that tunnel. But
with all due respect, can you take it down a notch?
Okay, no, I want to make sure they hear. No, I want to make sure they hear.
They can hear.
Okay, what, you got mic on?
Hold on.
Okay, all right.
Saying is, give this a chance. Give it a chance. If you're going to take away the parking or whatever spots, okay. Give it a chance. Because you know what? It might happen and it might not, but I'm seeing something more positive coming out of this. Okay? Let's come together. Let's come together. And I'm expecting for Community Board 13 to have Department of Transportation here in a meeting talking about all of these streets that's going one way in. Let's try to fix that.
Yes, question, then we go on.
Yeah.
He's calling the question.
I'm calling the question. And in the interest of time, given that all of us are leaving, the voting members have to leave, can we please motion?
Okay, one more question.
One more.
Okay, one more question. Only a question. We heard about parking, we heard about traffic. We heard
Jessica,
about building, whatever it is.
Jessica, if you're on mute.
Hello, yes.
Speak.
So back to the foundation of the building, when I was talking earlier. When it rains, when it thunders, and also when we had a little quick, the building does shake.
Okay.
The foundation of this building.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Sharon.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
If no more questions, no more comment, I'll make a motion to approve this project.
Second.
Mhm. Okay,
Okay, motion for yes. Christian said.
Second?
Seconded.
who's second? Yes, Shimon made the motion.
Motion for approval and Christian seconded.
Okay,
Now we're gonna vote Elena. Murphy?
No.
Charlene Davis,
No.
Yuri, Christian?
No.
Michael Silverman?
No.
Joan Weiss?
No.
And I'm also gonna say no, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 7
Marion.
no's and,
Oh, and Marion,
Marion Cleaver?
sorry, Marion.
You can
She can-
vote, Maren.
Marion,
You counted for the quorum, but you cannot vote. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Thank you, Marion Cleaver, for coming.
yes or no? Oh, she said no? Okay, thank you. No, she can vote, but she just
Again,
can't do
I mean,
it.
just divide
Okay.
or read.
All right, listen up, it still has to go to the full board. All right,
Appreciate the opportunity.
okay, all right, so the next board meeting will be on February the 25th. So the full board can vote on it. Yes, okay, all right, anything else? Anything else? That's it, wait, motion, make a motion to end.
Adjourn.
Okay, thank